Good.
Can you talk about the improvement that you see from Payton Pritchard?
Well,
I mean, because
look,
one of our guys on the show,
please.
I mean, this guy, he was someone that, people kind of wrote off on his first year. They were like, he should be better. He isn't. And now he should be a bona fide sixth person of the year. Like every single, and that should be the conversation, right? What do you think's gone into that? And um, what was it like just being around, like in the building during the finals last year when he was just hitting all those half court shots?
Some of the coolest moments of the year, dude. It's like, have you ever seen a special teamer in basketball? Because that's kind of what it felt like. He was like the Devin Hester of the Boston Celtics. Like, come in for he has a very specific set of skills, and he comes in there and makes that shot. And it's actually, I think it's funnier when he comes in just for that shot and doesn't get it. Like somebody else shoots it, and he's looking over at them like, "What the hell, dude? Like, you know what I do here? That's my role." Um, but it's also cool thinking about how that was sort of his role in the playoffs last year and looking at this season where, I mean, you're right, Mike. He's the heavy favorite for sixth man of the year. I think, DeAndre Hunter's kind of coming on for Atlanta, but he's missed a lot of time and has in his whole career. So wouldn't be surprised if Hunter gets hurt, then Pritchard's going to run away with this thing. And as for why he's having this type of season, it comes down to work, dude. Like that guy, he works as hard as any athlete I've ever seen. Like every time I go to the hotel gym on these road trips, Payton Pritchard is in there. You watch him during the first timeout. Next time you're at the Garden, watch him during the first time out of the game when he's not going to check in because the timeout will come with like 6:30 in the first quarter, under 7. He's not coming in the game yet, but he is ready, dude. Like he begs the ref for the ball. He's doing his little dribbling routine, like he's sprinting around, like trying to break up a sweat so he can be ready once he gets in the game. He's incredible. We talked with one of our sports science guys, Scal and I did in Minnesota about like, do you ever put a limit on Payton Pritchard? Like, do you ever worry about him overexerting himself? He's like, no, I never. Like Payton Pritchard is the one guy where it's like he can just keep going and go forever to the point that like after practice, he'll have to come in there and get him and say, all right, dude, that's enough because practice will end and Pritchard will like challenge someone to one-on-one. He'll be playing for 45 minutes. And usually his response to when someone tells him you have to stop playing is F off. Like my man loves hoop. Think about what we just talked about, guys, about like people missing games in the regular season and managing their load. That's Payton Pritchard's worst nightmare. He plays in every single game. The Celtics won 78 games in the calendar year, 2024. My man played in all of them. Like missing a basketball game is the worst thing that could ever happen to Payton Pritchard. He actually loves this stuff, which is kind of refreshing in today's NBA.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why Danny drafted him, right? That was his last gift to us.
Yeah.
Because it was starting to get ugly at the end, and I'm like, some draft picks wasn't so great, but Pritchard came in there. Once again, it was a rocky start early on. Then I remember early on he had the offensive rebound game winner in Miami. It was like, okay, we see the hustle there, but by the time he got there, there was a lot more consistency. So I kind of want to stay there with the roster. So obviously, they've been spoken about, as far as their depth, and their depth is very big part of what they do and why they're so successful. But would you make a small move at the deadline? Because obviously they've had some injuries, and certain guys have just haven't been around the way that they were last year or even in years past. So would you look to make a move at the deadline, or would you try to keep building from within?
This roster to me is pretty much perfectly constructed when it's healthy. I mean, that's the asterisk. The problem is, and I should have mentioned this when we were talking about the difference between last season and this season.
Yeah.
Missing Porziņģis is massive because, first of all, your spacing on offense is so much better when he's in there. Your ability to attack switches is so much better when he's in there. He's the most efficient post-up scorer in the NBA for the second year in a row because he posts up when he has a mouse in the house. Like get the ball to 8 and let him cook. Right. He's either going to get fouled or score pretty much every time. And then he stretches you out to 30 feet and he's 7'3". So offensively, he's such a weapon. But the more important thing is defense. And that's the only thing. That's the only area where, I could see trying to address a weakness would be rim protection, because before KP came back, the Celtics were, bottom 10 in the league in terms of opponent field goal percentage in the restricted area. He comes back and we're first.
Right.
To me, it's a pretty clear difference he makes. And if he does miss time, then I would worry a little bit about that. But, I'd rather, this is me probably as a biased guy who, loves
Mhm.
watching these dudes play and loves watching them improve during the course of the season. But I'd rather roll with Luke and Nimi and, maybe change it up based on a matchup
Mhm.
and maybe go small or go double big than go out and try to find somebody else and, pigeonhole them into this group. Because Ray, the team is loaded already. I really don't think they need to make a move.
Well, I mean, when I think about improvement, I'm thinking something really minimal. I'm not thinking some massive trade to go get like a big time name, because they don't need that. I agree with you on that. I was a fan of Lonnie Walker in
Me
the.
too. I was thinking that name when you were
He was
saying.
someone that could be a help, and even sometimes this year in the games where I feel like, okay, if some guys don't have it, or you want to give JB or Tatum just 2 or 3 more minutes, like you could put him out there with Pritchard, with Jordan Walsh, or whatever. Jordan Walsh is another guy who has been really coming on as
Much
a late.
improved.
Maybe he's the guy that's built from within. He starts to make a thing, but yeah, I mean, even he was their teammate last year. He's the only one that didn't come back. Is O'Shea Brissett? Do you give him a call in February and say, "Hey, your energy was there last year. You was an energy guy for us. You was a guy that got key offensive rebounds. Do they give him a call in February and say, "Hey, come back and join the team," or do you think that bridge is burned after what happened in the offseason?
That's a good question. I don't know, but I'll say that would warm my heart if O'Shea came back. Did y'all see he just posted a vlog about his free agency journey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I brought it up, because I'm just like,
Yeah.
he talked about how he thought more offense would be out there, and I did too. So to me, the agent should be fired, but that's just, and
Hey,
I'm just
bro.
like, you
Hey,
can't
bro.
say,
You said it, not me.
yeah.
You said it.
I'm just saying, you can't say, hey, hey, we got this guy over here, 3 years, 12 million, or this guy we can get 4 years, 22 million, and none of those come up. And then now you're looking at Brad, and Brad's like, well, hey, we had a moment here for you. We brought back Cornette, we brought back, and so we signed Derek White, we signed Drew Holiday, so the money dried up, and now you could have came back on a vet minimum. Now you making vlogs at home. That's something wrong with that picture, especially when he's that young. I'm just saying. But
Hey,
once
man.
again, I'll take the heat for it. I said it. Like, to me, you can't be my agent if you can't give me some type of deal that's going to keep feeding me and my family now, for the foreseeable future. Just my thing. So
The whole
yeah.
thing is a bummer, dude, because he turns down an option for 2.46.
Right.
And I mean,
Yeah.
hindsight being 2020, obviously that was not the right decision. But, with that being said, I think for O'Shea, he wanted to go somewhere where he could get some more playing time.
Mhm.
He really, most of the time last year for the Celtics, with a couple exceptions, he really only played when either the game was in hand or
Mhm.
when we had a lot of guys injured. There,
Right.
there were a couple exceptions, like Eastern Conference Finals, a couple big rebounds. He got a little bit of burn in the playoffs, but I think he was looking for somewhere he felt like he could contribute a little bit more.
Mhm.
And that just didn't materialize. The surprising thing to me is that he hasn't gone to Europe or somewhere where he could get a bag and score a lot. I thought that would be the play, but it
Yeah,
hasn't.
I just think he really wanted to stay in the NBA, which I get. Lonnie Walker, I think just wanted to hoop regardless. He was like, look, I can hoop, and I'm gonna show you NBA jokers that I can hoop.
Yeah.
And you guys missed out. All 32 seasons, y'all missed out on me. Because I'm like, if you're Brooklyn, what are you doing? You thought you were better off without him? Are you crazy?
They're trying to lose, bro.
Are you dumb? Like what? Like what are you talking? Like, there's no way you thought you was better without Lonnie Walker. Like there's no way. There's no way. There's no way.
He can,
So
he can
sorry.
get buckets. He can get buckets. And there are a couple
Yeah.
times where, and this is recency bias, but thinking about that OKC game where the offense is super stagnant, be nice to have a guy like that. Now, I was surprised that
Maybe talking my language. That's
Yeah.
all. That's all I'm looking for.
I was surprised a little bit that Pritchard didn't get more run in the Oklahoma City game. But, Celtics were fully healthy for the second time all season. The other time was in late November. So the minutes are fewer and farther between. And that's a matchup where you're looking at OKC's backcourt. These dudes are big, man. It's like, SGA 6'6", Jalen Williams 6'6". They're big, and that could be a problem for Pritchard. But we needed a spark offensively, and he's brought that so many times. But a lot of the time that's been at home where he can kind of get the crowd back into it. We were just missing something. So maybe that's what they try to add at the deadline, or if bringing in Lonnie Walker again. I don't know, but to me, the bottom line is like the team is really well constructed. If they're fully healthy, I don't know if there's a move that would improve the team.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I just think if you're see, I want them to be so dominant to the fact that when we get to late March, early April, even though I know you're calling the games and you guys want to have fun calling the games, I want them guys to be on the bench. See, to me, that's when you're low managed. Like low managed when like last year when they were smoking folks and they can say, okay, Porziņģis, you rest this game, you'll come back this game, or JB, you sit here. Like that's how you manage. Not in January when I mean, unless it's a legit injury. That's when you do that. So that's what I'm looking for. I just want them to start running the table, going through these guys, so that when we get to late March, because once again, we're going to be there. You'll be there. I'll be there. Lord knows for every game. So if the Bruins get there, so we'll see. But we know that the Celtics are going to be there. So that's my dream. Once again, it may not happen like that. It may be too idealistic, but that's what I'm looking for. Is them to start running the table. I need, as you dubbed him last year, January J. I need January J to be the guy going forward